Hi everyone, and welcome to this evening's session with the Society of Underwater Technology. You'll see three video cams of myself. I'm Claire Cardy. You'll see Sam Strutton there as well, and Mark Pickering. We're all committee members for the SUT London and South East branch, primarily for the SUT Plus, which focuses on the early careers sort of network. And you'll also see Steve Hall on the camera here as well, who is the CEO of the SUT. So this evening we're going to talk to you about the Society of Underwater Technology, specifically what we do within that society, and also introduce you to how you can be a bit more involved in this society, particularly with the SUT Plus, which is what we're part of here. And as we said, that's focusing on this sort of early careers, this early careers network. So there'll be a little session at the end where we'll talk a bit more about how you can be involved with us. But I'll just pass over to Mark, who will give you a bit more of an overview on what this SUT itself is.
Okay, thanks, Claire. So yeah, this is just to give you a bit of a flavour initially of the whole of SUT for those that aren't already familiar with it. So SUT is an international marine learned society. It was established in 1966, and today it has 150 corporate members and 1,000 individual members from around 40 countries. Initially, the growth of SUT was in the offshore oil and gas sector. However, more recently, there's been growth in the areas of metocean, sensors and robotics, policy, law, insurance, obviously the growing renewables sector, defence and research institutes and universities. As you can see, we have seats and observer statuses on a number of policy panels in the UK and further afield. SUT is truly an international society with branches in more than 10 countries. In the UK, it's split into a branch in Scotland based in Aberdeen, which is really active, and then two in England, one in the north of England, one in the south of England. And there's also a Southwest chapter, which is basically based around the areas of Exeter and Plymouth. So the Council of SUT is elected, and there are 6 main areas of committees for council. Those are around education, training, the Education Support Fund, international, policy advisory, and publications. So one of the ways that you can get involved in SUT is through our technical committees and special interest groups. So these are centered around a range of different topics and pretty active. So those are on diving and manned submersibles, environmental forces, marine renewable energies across all types, ocean resources, offshore site investigation and geotechnics, salvage and decommissioning. There's a panel on underwater robotics, and an invite-only committee on defence. There's a new committee being formed in 2021 on sensors and instrumentation. So why do people and companies join SUT? Why might you want to join SUT as a member? So primarily we think that the SUT's purpose is to shorten the learning curve and build our community in the marine sector. This is both through networking and knowledge exchange, looking at the latest innovations, emerging technologies, people you might not already know that are working on similar problems to share ideas and so on. As a member, you also get discounts on training, events, and publications. The events that SUT run are eligible for CPD, continued professional development, and you can also obtain professional accreditation through the society as a chartered marine technologist. So SUT also provides specialist advice and technology foresight to governments, companies and colleagues. and acts as an advocate for our sector to decision makers. The next generation of scientists and engineers are supported by scholarships, mentoring, school events, and providing careers information. And importantly, SUT is good value for money. It's £76 per annum for an individual member and £15 per annum for a student. So what is the context which SUT sits in today? There's an emerging blue economy, and it's the UN Decade of Ocean Science from 2021 till 2030. And there's a lot of innovation going in around across the sector in areas such as decommissioning, seafloor mining, autonomous systems, digital interconnectivity, subsea data recharge terminals, demanning and de-risking of offshore installations, life extension of hydrocarbons platforms, geological carbon capture and storage, green and blue hydrogen, offshore deep water aquaculture, smart pipelines, robotic repair and maintenance. The list goes on, but obviously there's a lot of innovation going on across the sector, and SUT has an interest in these areas and acts to join the dots. Some of the more up and coming areas, such as artificial intelligence and quantum systems, are areas that we also keep an eye on as they continue to mature. SUT provides various training courses. One that's well known is the Subsea Awareness course. This is provided in both 2-day and 5-day versions, with the longer version aimed at those that work offshore and the shorter version aimed at onshore staff. Additionally, we work with other societies such as Imerist on the Met-Ocean Awareness courses, and there are new courses under development on offshore renewables, defence, and the legal and insurance sectors. The kind of activities that we undertake at SUT are lunch and learns and technical lectures, business breakfasts, and advocacy for our members in the studies where they work and research. Over the last couple of months, there's been a number of excellent podcasts put out, which I really encourage you to look at. There's probably about 12 or 14 of these up now from leading members of our community in the marine sector. So I really encourage you to check that link out. Also, we look to encourage the next generation through our educational support fund, Christmas lecture series, and careers advice. There's also a good, strong social side to the SUT through summer barbecues, social evenings, the quiz night at the end of the year, which is pretty popular, golf, and so on and so forth. And also, we also actively get involved in industry programs such as the Horizon 2020 Bridges project, which was developing a deep ocean glider. So for those that are in the early parts of their career, the SUT Plus has been formed in 3 of the UK branches, in Scotland, the north of England, and London and south of England branches. In the US, they've developed student chapters at their universities there. So our aim is to promote networking, career development, and mentoring opportunities. There's a wealth of experience and more senior figures in industry that may be able to help mentor and develop your careers, and also building a community for our generation as we become the next edition of leaders in our field. SUT Plus London and South of England is also developing our ambassadors program, which Claire will talk to you about in more detail at the end of the presentation. SUT also runs conferences. So our branches and headquarters are encouraged to run these conferences. They've covered subjects such as aquaculture, oil and gas, technical subjects, salvage and decommissioning, autonomous underwater vehicles, and many other areas. SUT also has a range of publications. Underwater Technology is a peer-reviewed open access journal, and Underwater Technology 2, which is the grey magazines in the picture. Those are more coffee table articles around emerging technologies and news going on in the industry. And there's also an online version of that, UT3. So We've also produced a range of publications, some industry standard books on AUVs and various other subsea engineering, as well as some lighter reads, including Can the Lobster Be an Archaeologist, which makes a good Christmas present or birthday present for some of our younger friends. So with that, I'm just going to leave you with contact details for SUT Plus, which is the Gmail at the top, and also for membership inquiries, the SUT email. From left to right there, we've got pictures of some of our SUT Plus events, including speed networking on the left, women in engineering at Oceanology International in the middle, and on the right, a tour of Lloyd's of London, looking around the reinsurance and insurance industry with the Under 35s network there. And you can follow us on Twitter and various other social media channels. Thanks very much.
Thanks for that, Mark. That was really good. Just to reiterate on that, Mark, myself, Sam, Harry, who be online, and a few of the others, as Alex, Jorge, and Harry, actually, based in London. We're all volunteers, so we give up our time to help run this SUT Plus society in the London and South East region. So thank you, Mark, for putting the effort into to present this to everybody so that they know a little bit more about what's going on in the SUT.
Pleasure.
Thanks. So I just wanted to introduce you to an event that we're having in about 2 weeks' time from now. So we're trying to grow the SUT Plus in the London and South East region. And to do that, we need your help. So there's only a few people on the committee at the moment, and we're looking to reach out and attract more committee members to help us deliver the kind of events, training sessions, networking opportunities, technical talks that are of interest to you. And obviously, as we're all volunteers, there's only so many hours that we can put into doing this kind of work. So if we can reach out to more people, then we can provide more of these events for you to benefit from. So if what you've heard about the SUT sounds interesting to you, and you'd really like to be involved in the SUT Plus a little bit more, and particularly within the London and the South region, which broadly covers sort of anywhere from sort of London through to Oxford down to the Southampton area, then we'd be very, very grateful for you joining us in that session. So you can, to be involved with the SUT Plus, you can either be a member, in which case there's no obligation for you to organise any events or take part in sort of the committee running of the society. You can just come along to our events and join as and when you like. But for those of you who do want to be involved a little bit more, then what we're looking to do is create a series of ambassadors that can really help us to drive the SUT Plus community. So we'll touch on a little bit more what these ambassador roles will do in the session on the 30th of July there. But just to give you an idea of whether it's the kind of thing that you're interested in helping us with. If you want to be an SUT Plus ambassador, the requirement is that you must be a member of SUT. So if you go to the SUT membership page, you will see on there how you can sign up. I think if you're a student, membership is about £15, but if you're not a student, then membership is around about £76. So as an ambassador, you will be required to be a member. And there's also an obligation that you will help us coordinate events throughout the year. And as a rough rule of thumb, we generally expect that you will help or organise one event throughout the whole year. And just for reference, our year starts from July, which is why we are running these events now, to try and engage more of our SUT Plus community and reach out to you so that you really do benefit from that full year of membership if you're going to be involved in this. So we'll give you a bit more of an introduction to the ambassador role in that section, and from there we're hoping to plan out a calendar of more events that you would like to see going forward in that session there. So if you do want to be involved, it is by invite only, so I would encourage you to contact the email address there, the sutpluslondon@gmail.com, and we will send you the registration link at that point so that you know where to go to find out more information about becoming an SUT Plus ambassador. If you're not interested in that, then I would say please do sign up as a member and keep an eye out on our website, our Twitter feed, our Facebook page, and on LinkedIn as well, because once we've established these SUT Plus ambassadors, we'll then be rolling out a calendar of events from there that you can be involved in joining or coming along to. I think that's all from me. I don't know if anybody has any questions that they want to ask about the SUT or the SUT Plus in particular.